Liz.
And hi, I'm Trevor. Welcome to lizandtrevormitchell.com, your perfect life.
Hi, we've just got back from Jersey, just having one of our little mini getaways. Hope you guys are all doing well. Last time we spoke to you was just after our trip from Venice, so we're enjoying the life, aren't we?
We are. A little bit of a tan.
I know, yeah, a little bit of a tan, a
Not
little bit
much.
of redness going on. But hey ho, it's all good. All good. So today we're going to be talking to you guys all about the power of habits and ultimately why your habits are important. So to start us off, just going to read for you a quote by Aristotle. So this is the quote. "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit." So ultimately what Aristotle is talking about there is he's basically saying that, in order for us to succeed, we need to repeatedly do things that become ingrained in our brains, and they ultimately then become habits. So 95% of everything that we think, feel, do, act upon is usually the consumption of habits. If you think about it in the sense of your day-to-day lives. So what is the first thing you do in the morning? Do you get up and have a shower? Do you go and have breakfast? Do you put your right shoe on first? Did you brush your teeth first? Or did you have breakfast first? So all of these different things, ultimately, you don't think about them, but they are your habits. Oh, you can see our pussycat, if you can hear him meowing.
That's Tom. By the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tom. So one of the things we're thinking about today is kind of focusing on when you do want to change something and you want to think about something, you kind of just have to do it consecutively and ultimately repeatedly, and that way it becomes ingrained and you become kind of focused on it. So, and you end up not arguing with yourselves. And Tom is meowing. Tom, stop meowing. So Trev's just going to tell you a little bit of a story about something that he did and something that's been quite poignant.
Absolutely. So I have never been a morning person. Some of you might be able to relate to this. I quite liked laying in and sleeping as long as possible, which was fine. But what I was finding was that in the evenings because obviously Liz and I both work full time, in the evenings when we were wanting to do the businesses or blogs, videos like this and everything else that we're doing with property and etc. Because I still wanted to go to the gym, I wasn't having time to do everything that I needed to do. So I decided I always wanted to be one of those people that goes to the gym before work, but thought I would never do it. And I pretty much told myself that that's what was going to happen. However, I decided to make a change, and I found out that the gym that I go to very early in the morning, well, early for me anyway, 6:30, they do what are called grid sessions, which are kind of high intensity interval training. 30 minutes, it's full on, you do a full workout of different parts of your body, and you don't rest, so it's really intensive, but good for fitness. And they do this 3 times during the week. So I thought, right, I'm going to get up at 6 o'clock and I'm going to go. And the first few times, probably the first couple of weeks, to be honest, it was tough. The alarm clock would go off and I was struggling to get up, but I persevered with it, and now I get up every single day at 6 o'clock and I go to the gym. So initially it was 3 times a week. It then turned into 5 times a week. I was just going during the week, and then I started going at weekends as well now. So I'm doing weights and interval training as well. But it's automatic now. I don't even have to sort of think, oh, I've got to get up early the next day, or it feel like I have to plan for it. It's just automatic that I'm doing it. So it's become a habit. And that's been really good for me for 2 reasons. For my health has got better, my fitness, I feel much better because I'm doing that. But also I now have the evenings to myself, well, for us to actually do the things that we need to do for our businesses. So it's been fantastic, and something I never thought that I would do, but only because I told myself I didn't like mornings.
Yeah, I haven't quite got on the same level yet, have I?
Not
yet.
Entirely. You're
yet.
almost there.
Not yet. Nearly there. So when we were doing some research on kind of habits and just trying to understand a little bit more about the science behind them, there's quite a lot of theories out there with regards to how long it takes for a habit to become kind of cemented and formulated in your brain. So we don't want to kind of put any numbers on it as such. But what we did do is we something we read, and this was something that we read by Tony Robbins, was he was basically talking about, if you know there's something you want to do, so obviously one of the biggest things that a lot of people think about is either wanting to quit smoking or wanting to lose weight. And one of the things that Tony Robbins always talks about is he says, okay, so think about a habit that you currently do that you'd like to change. So let's say it was smoking. It's Tom meowing. Let's say it was smoking, and what are you doing? And so with smoking, what you would do is, you know, this is something you want to change, and so you would think about yourself in, you know, okay, 5, 10 years, 20 years down the line, and think to yourself, okay, by remaining to keep this habit of smoking on a daily basis, how is that going to make me feel in 5 years' time? How are my family going to think about that? How's my health going to be? How's my finances going to be? So you would think about all of those different things, and ultimately about what that habit is doing for you or not for you. And then what he then says is, he then talks about saying, well, why don't you turn that on its head? So he says, okay, so if you were to take on the challenge of, okay, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to change that habit, think again about, in 5 years' time, if you weren't to be smoking on a daily basis, how would that make you feel? What would your family be saying? If you have children, what would they be saying about things? What would your health be like? What would your finances be like? And ultimately, you can probably see a pattern here, but with most of the things in life that we want to change, you can see how by thinking about it now and knowing how much of a change it is you want to do, you can see kind of the pain that's associated with continuing with that habit, if that makes sense. Whereas if you then switch it on its head, you can then start to think about kind of the pleasure that will end up being associated with you making that decision to make that change. So what we have kind of set, and like I said, there's no specific numbers on these, but what we'd like you to try doing is think about something that you currently do on a day-to-day basis, or not even do, but you'd like to introduce doing, and take kind of a 10-day challenge. So over the next 10 days, starting from first thing tomorrow morning, I want you to wake up and I want you to start thinking about making that change, and just, it could be one really minor change, whatever it might be. And take 10 days challenge, let us know how you're getting on with it, see whether anything is changing, not changing, how hard you're finding it, how easy you're finding it. And you know, and if you are in a relationship with someone, or you've got a good friend around you, you kind of get them to keep tabs on you and see, you know, how you're getting on, you know, have a bit of an accountability partner, see what's happening. So that's our little challenge for you. Okay, some of the other quotes that we saw were,
so we thought we'd share a couple more quotes with you. This one we quite liked was, we first make our habits and then our habits make us, and that was by John Dryden. Motivation is what gets you started, habit is what keeps you going, by one of our favourite guys, Jim Rohn. If you haven't listened to any of his stuff, then check him out on YouTube and Google him. He's got some great material on motivation and positive thinking, everything like that, so he's really good. One other book that we read, a number of books on habits, and I think we will do eventually on our website, I think, list the books that we've read, so that you know, you guys can have a look at that, and if you want to read them, obviously you can then get them on at Kindle or hardback book, or we're listening to a lot of stuff on Audible now rather than actually reading, which it saves time because you can listen while you're doing other things. And it's just working really well for us, so that's a little tip for you. This particular book was called Rich Habits, The Daily Success Habits of Wealthy Individuals by Thomas Corley. It's a great book. If you're anything like me and don't like reading really long books, then this is a nice one because it's quite short, so you can read it in a day, literally, in an afternoon even. It's a very short book, so that's why it's really good, but it's got some really good points, and it's got some stories in there as well which help illustrate the points that it's talking about, which just makes it a really good read and really powerful for me and for Liz when we both read this. And there's several rich habits in there, and I obviously don't want to ruin the book for you completely, but I will just run through a few of these. And as Liz mentioned just before, you know, you can either have bad habits which are doing nothing productive for you, and those are the sort of habits that you want to try and break and change and replace for a good habit, for example, and that bad habit could be affecting your health, could be affecting your relationship, it could be affecting your wealth, it could be anything. Whereas the good habits will improve your, again, health, wealth, or relationships, well-being, that sort of thing. So it's talking about here practicing good daily habits. So taking note of your daily bad habits, writing them down, and then write down what the opposite of that should be, and so that you can then focus on something that you can change and do. Set goals. So again, previous blog post we've done is on goal setting. Really important. Set goals not only daily, monthly, yearly, so that you can keep on track and achieve the things that you want to achieve.
It's really good to be able to tick things off the list as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mini celebrations.
It's all about mini celebrations, absolutely. So, doing that. Engage in self-improvement every day. Again, Liz and I do at least 30 minutes a day where we either listen to some personal development or read a personal development book or blog or podcast, listen to anything. So that, again, is really important for us, and it could be for you. Devote part of each and every day in caring for your health. Again, we're very big on that. Liz is into her yoga. I'm into my sort of gym and fitness. We've just started learning how to salsa dance as well, which is something we can do as a couple, which is pretty cool, but it's also good for your health. So that's good. Devote each and every day to forming lifelong relationships. So again, this is about people that you come into interaction with, your friends, new friends, existing friends, colleagues.
Family.
Absolutely. So devoting each and every day to forming those relationships. Live each and every day in a state of moderation. So again, it's very tempting to do things in excess. Drinking alcohol, for example, we've all done it, but doing too much of that is obviously not good for your health, and it's not good for your well-being and your mind. In fact, when you start doing that sort of stuff too often, so living in moderation. Accomplish your daily tasks each and every day. Adopt a do-it-now mindset. So rather than procrastinating, putting things off, doing things now when you can do them. Engage in rich thinking every day. Save 10% of your gross income every paycheck. This is another important one. A lot of people spend their money and whatever's left they'll save it. Rather than that, making sure that you're saving a percentage of your salary, or if you've got a business, percentage of your profits, which goes towards your savings. 10% is a figure that's used. If you've read, there's another book called The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a really good book. It talks about the 10% figure in that as well. So this isn't new stuff, but it's a really good thing and a good habit, again, to get into, to do. Control your thoughts and emotions each and every day. Again, everyone has emotions, and you go through emotional sort of roller coasters throughout the day, often with things that challenge you. Trying to keep that in check and not getting too stressed, too angry about certain things, and sort of taking time to kind of reflect on those things and not reacting sort of too emotionally, I guess, to those sort of things that happen. So control your thoughts and emotions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is going to talk to you about what we're doing next.
So we are extremely excited.
We are,
aren't we? We are very excited. One of the things that we've got coming up next week, in fact, oh my god, it's come around quick. It is, and we might not have talked to you face to face about this, but you'll have seen some of the posts coming out on Facebook and things going on. But we actually, a couple of weeks ago, were interviewed by some fellow colleagues out in Australia, well, currently out in Thailand actually, Tim and Ness, who run their own podcast about the relationship revolutionaries. So we will put kind of links to their podcasts on our website, in this blog, and kind of the future blogs.
They're doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah, they're doing some amazing stuff.
Check them out.
They're also massive fans of Tony Robbins, so we got on like a house on fire, and they asked to interview us. So they wanted to find out a little bit more about who Liz and Trevor are, and we asked us some interesting questions, didn't they?
They certainly did.
They certainly did. But
it's our first ever interview as well, so we were a little bit nervous about it, but it all went really well.
It all went really well. So that's coming out next week. Please, have a look out for that. We'll be sharing it on all of our kind of social media, etc. So you'll be able to see that and see all the links. And obviously, if you like them, then you get to follow Tim and Ness as well, and kind of leave us your comments, and we'll go from there. Really. So that was kind of it for today.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah. Yep. So have a great week.
Yep.
And we will see you soon. Until next time, this is Liz and Joe Mitchell. Take care.